That Magane and Sota convo throughout this episode, I didn't think it would be that good. Like, legit, I didn't think I would be enjoying Sota and Magane's interactions so much. I gotta say, after watching this episode, I'm inclined to ship those two characters together. Now, I know ships are not a big focus of any series. You shouldn't focus too much on them. However, after seeing just the exchange of just information between these characters, Sota and Magane, and how they helped each other in their own way, I was like, damn, they're perfect for each other. They really are. I mean, how Sota stood up to her, showed that he had a backbone, he didn't back down from his beliefs, and then, you know, he actually got something from Magane, and then he gave something to Magane in return. Just back and forth, the conversation between these two, it was so fascinating, because it showcases, number one, that Sota has definitely changed from what he was many episodes ago. Myself included, many of us were complaining about Sota, saying he was very flat, he wasn't really interesting, and in all honesty, he was one of the worst characters in the series. But after seeing some characterization, backstory, and getting to see some development, he is much more likable now, especially in this episode, showcasing that he's not backing down. Because if we go back to the first half of Recreators, we see that he was scared of Magane. He really didn't know how to interact with her, he didn't know how to speak to her at all, and he was getting manipulated by her. And in this episode, it was very similar to that scene, but the way it went, it showcased that Magane wasn't able to easily get in to Sota's mind and manipulate him and make him do things that he normally wouldn't do. What he did showcases that he has changed, but he has changed for the better or worse, depends on the outcome of whatever happens in the series, but he is going down his own path for his own reasons, his own desires, which makes it very, very fascinating. Now, at first, when Magane was introduced, I didn't think her character would be quite like this. I mean, it was introduced that she would be neutral. I just didn't think her character would be this prominent in this series. In all honesty, she is probably one of my favorite characters of Recreators. It's because I just love her personality. I love how she just talks to other characters and how she can play word games and mind games with them and just completely manipulate them to do what she wants. I love that. It's very fascinating. It's some of the favorite stuff I see out of different genres I read. For instance, psychological or tragedy and stuff. I love stuff like that. I love characters that are able to manipulate or use wordplay to kind of get what they want, and that's what Magane as a character is really focused around, what she is capable of. And when she is talking to Sota, talking about, you know, how, you know, he wants a creation and all that, and then talking about how, you know, there's a difference between fool's gold and real gold, and just all these different parts of symbolism and stuff to recognize what type of character Magane is and what she stands for, just the conversation is very fascinating. But eventually it leads into where Magane, she tells a lie to Sota, and then Sota, he decides to tell a lie back. And it was very interesting how it was done. Magane gave something to Sota. She actually helped him out. And it was something very rare from her, but it fits her character. Magane as a character, she's basically equivalent to the Joker mentality. She is someone that just wants to have fun. She is someone that just wants chaos, wants entertainment. That is the type of character Magane is. She wants chaos. She wants crazy shit going down that keeps her entertained, and she's just sitting back and relaxing and enjoying it. That's the type of person she is. And so we know that she would be fine with working with any side. We know she'd be fine with having, you know, Sota, our main character, win, or, you know, having Altair win. She doesn't care. She just wants a fun, enjoyable show to watch, basically. And in this case, when she is helping out Sota, it's obvious that she was going for her own desires. For instance, her wanting to have something interesting to watch, but also, it does seem like she has developed some form of bond with Sota. It's obvious that she does, somewhere deep in her twisted and fucked up mind and heart, she does actually care about him in some way. Very weird way, but she does seem to care about him, because every time he's about to say something that could turn into like a lie and it turns into a truth, she stops him. She actually puts a finger over his mouth and stops him from fucking his own self over, which is something very peculiar about her character. She's done this in many occasions with others, for instance with Sota in the past, when he was in the cafe with her and all that, or when he was in the previous experience talking with her by himself, when she was manipulated manipulating him. She stopped him from saying certain things that would actually fuck him over. And so I like how, as a character, she has showcased that she does care for him in a way. Maybe it's because he's very fascinating. He's someone that seems very bland and stuff on the surface, but deep down, he's someone that has a very complex inner self. It's something that many don't really see until you become aware of who he really is once you're around him enough. And that seems what Magane is seeing within him, and why she's so inclined to help him out in the first place, when she is actually giving this man the ability to write his own creation. I'm like, yo, like, that's insane. Let me explain. As we know, when it comes to the series, one of the big laws of the series is that everything needs to be accepted. For instance, all the characters that are in, the verse right now of Recreators, they need to be accepted to be there. They need to have the audience's approval. There needs to be a big popularity behind these characters for them to appear, or certain changes to happen where they gain certain powers. And so that is like one of the big laws we have seen. However, Magane as a character, she is someone that can actually bypass laws of the world. She can actually rewrite things of the world, contradictions and everything. And so she's able to go around acceptance and make it to where Sota is the most powerful god. He's able to do whatever he wants with what he wants to write. So this man has now gotten a major power boost, and he's able to write whatever he wants, bring his character in existence, and there would be no problem. He doesn't even need acceptance by the audience. The audience doesn't even need to actually approve of what he's doing, because he can just completely go around it, and it will happen regardless, because that is what Magane just gifted him. A very, very strong power. Now, I'm assuming it's one use, like that's one use that Magane gave him, but still, it's incredible what she did for him, how she was doing this for him, and how it helped him out really, really well. I mean, judging by the way this series is going, and how we've already had, like, some resurrection going on, I'm going to assume that he's wanting to bring back Setsuna. I'm assuming that's who he wants to bring back. He wants to bring back Altair's creator, and that's going to be his way to mend the wounds, or it could be something else entirely. I don't know, but we'll see where that goes. Now, getting back into the Magane and Sota conversation, once that was done, we have another truth and lie told, and Magane's like, I'm tired of the doll and all that. I'll give it back. And then Sota calls her. I was like, nah, you're lying and all that. Basically, that turned it into truth, which in turn gave the, stand, or the persona stand, or whatever it's called, gave it back to Yuya. So Yuya now has his original ability. So it shows that Magane, once again, she helped him out 2 times in a row. She went out of her way and helped out Sota, not once, but twice. And then even stopped him from fucking himself over by, putting like a finger over his mouth, like, no, stop, like, stop talking. That just shows she does care. But then, the final part of that conversation, Sota decides to do something for her, which was like, yo, like, did that just happen? Now, I don't know if that's exactly how her ability works, but that's what I got from the final part of the convo. Let me explain. Now, Sota's like, you're a contradiction. You can't exist here. You're a character in that. You cannot exist in this world. And then you had it to where Magane, she replied with basically saying, are you sure about that? I mean, I'm already outside the story. Basically, with the way that was said, it makes me assume that now Magane was gifted something. She has now been gifted the ability to not be thrown out of the real world. She will not go back to her story. She is now free to do whatever she wants. For instance, if once everything is done, said and done and all that, and all the characters have to go back to their own worlds or whatever, Magane doesn't have to. She doesn't have to follow the laws of the world. She is a complete contradiction that is now fit into society, and now she doesn't need to go back because of what Sota did for her. When he said that, it made it to where a lie became a truth, which was for her, and now she is no longer a contradiction. She is actually a permanent resident of the world and has no possibility of being rejected and kicked out of the world, because now the world has officially accepted her for who she is. So that is a very interesting thing that happened in this. Sota went out of his way and gifted her something, and I don't know if that's how I should interpret it. I could be wrong there, okay? I could be wrong. Maybe she denied it, but that's what I assume happened, and now she was given something, because when you think about it, Magane can't really gain anything with her abilities. I mean, she did gain an ability, like a stand ability from Yuya, but in reality, she can't gain what she really wants, or people can't really gift her anything in a way, because people are always thinking she's a liar or wanting to work their way around her. And in this case, when he decided to say that to her, it's kind of like saying thank you, and this is my present to you since you helped me out with my problem. And I feel like Magane really appreciated that. So, anyways, getting off of that, let's talk about the situation with Blitz. So Blitz, I like Blitz as a character. I loved him a lot in the last episode. I loved his rider as well. Oh my god, what his rider did, the smug face, the how she was willing to take a bullet, that's just badass. But to make it even better from that scene is when she showed a bulletproof vest. She's like, yeah, you see, I was prepared. I knew you would shoot me. Like, just to put some emphasis on the fact that she knew for a fact this man was going to shoot her no matter what she said. You know, she was like, I had a bulletproof vest. You see, I'm completely fine. That was kind of funny, but it's still ballsy to get shot by your own creation. I still give her props to that, but damn, I just love her as a character, and I also love Blitz. Now, when you look at it, Blitz, he changes sides over to help out our main cast of characters, but it's not just Blitz. Almost every single person that was on Blitz's and Altier's side, they have now shifted over to Yuya and Sota's side, which is very interesting because now Altier's all by herself besides like one person really helping her out, which makes me wonder what the fuck's gonna happen because we're not really done with the series yet. We don't have like an episode or two. We have more than that left, so when you look at it like that, I'm kind of curious now, with everybody kind of turning against, you know, Altier, is there anyone else that's going to kind of join her side, or is this kind of like a message here where it's trying to showcase that Altier's always been alone? She's been someone that's always been like an outcast. I mean, when you look at her character in general, compared to all the other creations that have came into the world, all of them have backing and acceptance by everyone. For instance, these are famous characters that have been brought to this world, and so many care about these characters. They care about their relationships and their communications with each other. Everybody just enjoys that. But Altier, she's very different. She is someone that's kind of like a Vocaloid in a sense. I mean, just many things can be wrote about her, or songs about her, or whatever, and it becomes truth. She was someone that's kind of like an abandoned creation, thanks to her, you know, creator dying. And because of that, she is someone that's very different. She's always kind of been lonely when you think about it. And I feel like that's the message here, showcasing that all the creations that actually had a lot of backing and a big audience to support them, they are able to now join one side up against Altier, while Altier is like on the side of creations that have been forgotten, creations that are not relevant anymore. And it makes me very, very sad to see something like that. That's the impression I get when all of them are joining the good side, because I feel bad. I mean, when you look at the opening song, it really showcases a different side to Altier that we really don't see often. We do know that there's a deeper meaning to her character, besides just wanting to destroy the world. We can see a lot of loneliness and emptiness within her, especially when she talks about Blitz, like, Blitz, you know, you had your daughter, you should have been with her instead of coming back here. Basically, it shows that she does care about people. That's a big part of her character we have seen, but the way she showcases herself in the opening, we can see she is extremely, extremely lonely, especially when you see that final scene where she's like just, you know, dematerializing out of existence, and she disappears. It shows that she's just in an empty space by herself, and I feel like that's what that scene is representing. For instance, just everybody going up against her, and she has no allies, no one she can really rely on, because everybody is against her, everybody in the world is against her. And I feel like before everything is said and done, I feel like whatever Sota's going to do is probably going to help out Altier. I could definitely see something like that happening. Sota, whatever he writes or whatever he brings into existence, might in fact help out Altier, maybe change her for better or worse, we have no idea, but I feel like it's mainly going to be focused on her in terms of how she's going to develop and change and see where she wants to take the remainder parts of this series. So yeah, anyways, talking about some comedy segments of this episode, let's talk about the hentai shoujo girl. Oh my god, her outfit is, wow, it's revealing. And I find it very funny that all of the characters are very self-conscious about this, and even herself wearing this, she was very self-conscious of the outfit. It's very nice to see something like that, especially in a series that's fourth wall breaking, always breaking fourth walls. It's refreshing to see a character realizing what they're wearing is just completely embarrassing and that they would normally never wear something like this, but thanks to the audience and all that, that's why she has this outfit. I mean, when she's sitting there talking and all that, you just gotta love it when the voice actor, that's apparently her voice actor, but remember, she didn't technically voice act this scene because it's actually happening in real life in the Recreators verse, which is just a bundle of confusing, but basically when the voice actor's like, oh my god, like you just see her embarrassment because of, you know, the hentai shoujo girl talking, and then everybody's asking her like, wait, do you did you actually say this? Did you actually say these lines? And, like, everybody was embarrassed and all that. It was funny. It was very funny to see how the voice actor got embarrassed with her own character, but also how the character herself, she was embarrassed. Like, fuck, like, what am I wearing right now into combat? And her entire battle sequence, too, when she was about to go in and fight and all that, her, like, big move title, oh my god, that's too long, but I guess that's the type of fans that sit around these type of characters, so it makes a lot of sense. Anyways, let's talk about the spoilers. So Yuya and Sho, they're having their big fight, and as we know from the last episode, there's a lot of fangirls to these two characters. Probably yaoi fangirls. And basically, as they're fighting, we have a scene to where it's basically like this. If you had two characters from a series you wanted to see fight, like you truly love seeing these two characters and you want them to go at each other. For instance, let's take an example from Berserk. Griffith and Guts. We want to see this. We want to see Griffith and Guts go up against each other and just beat the fucking shit out of each other. It'll probably be one-sided in a way because of Griffith being who he is, but it would be something many of us, many fans of Berserk, would want to see. We would fucking jump for joy and fangasm just seeing something like that. Even just a hint that it's about to happen, we would jump for joy. And so, I can kind of understand the feelings that some of these, you know, people watching are feeling when they're seeing Yuya and Sho go up against each other. They've been wanting to see these characters fight for a very long time, and as they're going up against each other, they have their own reasons for going up against each other. It's very badass. But then when Yuya explains why he's fighting, and also he wasn't responsible for certain characters' deaths, that was the most surprising and shocking thing out of all of it. And it really fits with his character. Yuya is a character that we know enjoys fighting. He's also represented as the final boss of his series, but from what we found out is that he isn't necessarily someone that actually killed anyone, or killed Sho's friends. He was only fighting to go along with the man, even if it was a fight to the death. So, it showcases that he's not necessarily a bad dude, he just enjoys the thrill of fighting. And when it's revealed, like, he reveals that he didn't kill everyone, everybody's like, huh? Like, everybody just, like, gets completely stunned, and they're like, what the fuck? They're like, what the hell did I just watch? It's pretty funny, because that's how many fans legit react if something like that happened with Griffith and Guts. Like, for instance, all of a sudden we found out that Griffith wasn't responsible for the eclipse or something. Everybody be like, what the fuck? Like, everybody be like, they'll be completely shocked. And that's kind of what I got from that scene. And he spoiled the future content of his own series. And you know where there's a saying, stop spoiling the manga, stop spoiling the anime or future episodes or whatever? Well, that's kind of what we got from here. However, instead of people on the forums or whatever spoiling shit, or people in comment section spoiling shit, you have it to where the character himself, he spoils everything for the future content of the series. That has broke the fourth wall in our world, and also his world. It's just like, whoa, like, it just broke a lot of fourth walls right there. I don't even know what you should call it, the eighth wall or something, but this man broke so many walls when he spoiled the entire audience, but then us as well. And when he talked about how his writer is the one that told him, I'm like, oh my god, like, it's like he read the script of the script of the script, because you remember, it's being made in our world, this series is, and so that would mean that the person that was reading the script to voice Yuya as a character read the script of this, and then Yuya as a character in the verse read the script and also asked his writer from his world. So just like, what the fuck? Just like, it's very confusing, but the series is just so fascinating because of that. So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.